You wrote curb your enthusiasm even before that. Hey, Richard, we're about ready to go live. Say hello to everybody. We're going to take you off. We're going to come back to you.
Are we live as well as visual as well as verbal?
Absolutely. Right now we are. That's for sure.
We are?
Yeah.
Well, then go live. Then I'm ready.
There you go. So we're going to take you off. We'll be right back, buddy. Hang in there.
Okay.
Hey, Fish, we are live. We are talking to, we just did, as you saw, one of the most prolific comedic actors of our time. Curb Your Enthusiasm Now, Mad About You from way back, and a ton in between. We're going to gab again with a lot with Richard Kind. Also, we can't curb our enthusiasm about the NFL. What a week. And you'll get our picks for week 15. But you might curb some enthusiasm for some college football players opting out of bowl games. We'll explain that. And we hope nations will leave the Olympics to the Olympians. We meander into some international sports for you. Then we'll get some real betting picks from our expert, John Hardison, on the Daily Fish Hardline. Plus, we have our Schmuck of the Week, Who's Got Swag, and so much more to laugh at. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Daily Fish. John Daly here with Eric Snyder, a.k.a. Fish. We are coast to coast, coming to you from Las Vegas and Myrtle Beach. We talk sports, entertainment, and everything in between. And Fish, wow, we are talking to one of our favorite actors of all time right here on show number 34 on Daily Fish. Pretty cool, huh?
Oh, yeah. When I told my wife that Richard Kind's on, she has a watch party in the other room. So be good tonight, John.
I'll try my best. I'm trying to, I'm drinking heavily, so I'm ready. All right. Time for the daily grind. First grind. Trash talking is looked down on by the NFL now. It was once kind of a way of life. Fish, you're a trash talker. Give us your barbs.
Well, this is what happened. This is what started the whole thing. The Raiders played the Chiefs this weekend, and the Chiefs said they were motivated by this. Let's go to the video. This is what the Raiders did.
Yeah.
Logo and went nuts. Started jumping up and down, and some players don't want to do it, but they did it. And the Chiefs said that was very disrespectful. If they're going to do that, if they're going to trash talk, back it up. The Raiders go out, they fumble the first play, they lose 48-9. Trash talking has been going on since you and I were kids. I mean, Dick Butkus was the king of trash talkers. O.J. Simpson trash talk. It's going on now. I have no problem with it. What about you?
Yeah, I don't have any problem with it either. But, to me, if you're going to do trash talk, make sure you can back it up. There was one of the Buffalo Bills linemen that was trash talking against Brady, and Brady just completely shut him down. And Brady actually took kind of a shot at one of the guys. So it's like you got to have some street cred if you're going to do that. So and what the Raiders did, it was like they looked stupid doing that, I thought. But at the same time, too, hey, good for them. At least they tried it. All right. Our second grind, are NCAA athletes hypocrites for protecting their family wealth? Football players won't play for their school in bowl games for fear of being hurt before the NFL draft. And hoop stars, well, they help the school program for 1 year, then they're out of there. Fish, hit me with your thoughts.
I don't get that 1 year thing in the NCAA. I'm a big UCLA guy, being from Los Angeles, and when we got to the Final Four, Lonzo Ball, the Ball family, LeVar Ball and the Baller brand, the minute they lose, he walks in the locker room, they put a mic in front of his face and goes, "I'm declaring for the NBA draft." And now guys like Kenneth Walker, top running back going in the draft from Michigan State, say he's not going to play in the bowl game. Pickney, the kid out of Pittsburgh, is not going to play in the bowl game. Joey Bosa and Nick Bosa did it. Jadeveon Clowney did it. Don't you think they have some kind of obligation to their school? You got them there. You have an obligation to the fans of the school, to the university, everyone that helped you get to this point. And you're your biggest game, you're going to sit down because you don't want to hurt your draft status. I think it's crap.
Yeah, I think we need to do something. There needs to be a little bit of new rules that are needed. I think some new rules for the coaches as well. I mean, a lot of coaches, they're taking new gigs and they're not going to coach in the bowl games coming up either because they're getting ready for their next school. So definitely new rules are needed. All right, third grind. Let the Olympians have the spotlight. There are rumors of boycotts for the Beijing Winter Games. So far, only diplomatic boycotts. So, Fish, let me ask you this. Will you be upset that you won't see any diplomats there?
Do we ever do? When you ever watch the Olympics and they show pictures of the president, who knows who the president of Bolivia is? And who cares? No. I mean, President Biden said they're not going to send a diplomatic corps to the Olympics. Keep politics out of this thing. We clamor every 4, sometimes 2 years for these games. We follow the lives of these athletes. We love watching these events. We need to keep politics out because Olympics are for countries to come together and compete athletically, and it's supposed to be fun. And again, when you're behind a bar like I am, you keep politics and religion out of it. Keep it out of the goddamn Olympics.
You know what? I agree with you 100%. And I think by doing the diplomatic embargo, so to speak, that makes sense. But I got to tell you, these games are going to be worth watching more for the sports. But there are complicated world implications. I hope China doesn't go gulag on any athletes who voice their opinions. We're going to watch that. That's for sure. All right. And finally on the grind, another great roller coaster ride in the NFL last weekend. Some nail biters, some great play, and some awful play. So with 4 games left to go, Fish, let's do our Super Bowl picks. All right. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to do mine. The Raiders and the Jets. I'm just kidding. I'm going to go Bucks and, wait for it, the Titans. I'm betting on Derrick Henry coming back from that foot injury. Tell me what you think of that, and then give me yours.
Well, if Derrick Henry does come back from that foot injury, you better hope that Ryan Tannehill could play great football in the postseason. He's one of those hit and miss guys. I got 2 choices for you. One, I got the Bucks. I agree with you on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I think it's going to be the AFC Championship game is going to be between the New England Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs right now in the last 5 games, they're only allowing 9 points. They had a horrid defense last year. All of a sudden, they got this defense that came out of nowhere. Of course, you got Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, you got Travis Kelce. So I agree with the Bucks, but I think, can you imagine that, the drama if there's New England and Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl? Wow.
Yeah. Well, imagine if the Titans have to play the Patriots for the AFC Championship. You got Belichick going up against his former player. Yeah.
Mike Vrabel. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, that could be just as good too. All right. Let's get into week 15. First up, okay, the Chiefs. Chiefs at the Chargers. Go Fish. What do you got?
Great Thursday night matchup. Wow. Let's see how I hate to bring this up in every. This is a week that COVID really hit a lot of NFL teams.
Yeah.
The Browns have 9 new cases. The Chargers have new cases.
Yeah.
7 new cases. Yeah. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I'm still going to go with the Chargers.
All right. I'm going with the Chargers as well. All right. Patriots at Colts. This is Saturday. I'm going to go against my Pats. I'm going to go with the Colts at home. What do you think?
I'm going with the Patriots. I mean, I want to go against you because I don't like you. So I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Well, no, I'm wrong most of the time. So anyway, all right. Next one. Packers at Ravens. All right, Fish, spit this one out now.
Well, that's a huge one because we have to see Lamar. Everything trends toward Lamar Jackson playing. I'm still going to go with the Packers, but if Lamar Jackson doesn't play, it's going to be a blowout.
Okay, I'm going Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to bounce back. I think they learned a little something from last week. All right, Falcons at 49ers. I'm going Niners. Fish, who are you reeling in?
49ers. I mean, there's a quarterback no one talks about named Jimmy Garoppolo. That Paisan's looked great the last 4 or 5 weeks. Big win against Cincinnati. I like the 49ers.
All right. And finally, Seahawks at the Rams. Fish?
The Rams got hit. Odell Beckham Jr. is out for this game because of COVID. So, I mean, you're limiting Cooper Kupp. Is Cooper Kupp not the best receiver in the league no one talks about? You got Devontae Adams, Andre Hopkins. What a great player he is. Seahawks, Rams. Seahawks. I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
Okay. I'm actually going to go Rams. And since I went against them last week and I got burned, I figured this week I'm going to give it a try. I will definitely go with the Rams this week. And plus, it also goes up against you, so we have something to talk about. All right. And that is the Daily Grind. Questions or comments during the live show, folks, use the chat box here or email us at dailyfish1@gmail.com. You can post to Facebook at daily.fish.5. Better yet, all you got to do is record yourself short, tight, and horizontal on your smartphone and send it to dailyfish1@gmail.com. All right. It's time now for some binge watching and book reading as well. Binge and book here, Fish. Something appropriate for tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm binge watching this past season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm caught up. And, one of our alumni from the show, Brad Grumberg, just did an episode where he played a roofer. If anyone's never watched this show, the wit, the humor, the way that this guy in his writing, Larry David, ties everything in this show, where everything at the end comes together. I never laughed so hard in any of these. I don't know how many years this show's been on. There's a couple off, but this season's the best so far. And we'll talk to a guest coming up, Richard Kind, who's got a little bit of a part of that action.
Absolutely. All right. And I'm going to go with Get Back. That's the documentary on the Beatles. And director Peter Jackson has filmed from 50 years ago, the Beatles prepping for a show coming up. It is absolutely brilliant. If you haven't dove into who the Beatles are, then you should watch this. And that is the binge and book on Daily Fish. Hey, Fish, before we go into something fishing, we should let folks know you're having some weather in Las Vegas because you're vacillating a little bit there. So can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. You're vacillating too. Maybe the weather guys don't want to look at both of us. You're buffering and I'm buffering.
Oh, because I got, I'm seeing me here and I'm fine. Obviously, it's different. All right. Hopefully, folks, we're just to let folks know that that's what's going on. All right. Let's hit now something fishy. Something stink for you, Fish?
Yeah. How tall are you, John? About 6'1"?
6 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about 5'9", 5'9.5", and I'm tired, really tired of when someone says someone's a short quarterback, like Doug Flutie, like Drew Brees, like Kyler Murray, like Russell Wilson at about 5'9", 5'10". I love the fact that we can perform at our height and do great things. I don't think we're short. So let's go through some of the short people in life that I love. Look at this guy. Can you see this, John? This is Kevin Hart and some god. I don't know who it is, but beautiful. All right, let's go to this one. This is Sean Penn and Charlize Theron. Lucky guy. Boy, is he lucky. I mean, God, hooking up with that. Look at this beauty. Nicole Kidman, terrific as Lucille Ball with Keith Urban. Here's Tom Holland. Tom Holland, the new Spider-Man, was Zendaya, who's his co-star. We're going old school. Richard Kind like this. Check this guy. This guy is stud. Look at that sweat. That's Dudley Moore for all the young people out there. Great role in Arthur. Binge watch that movie. Watch it 1,000 times. Susan Anton. Is that fantastic or what? And look at this. We found out we got a friend of the show. That's John Hyatt, and he found some stripper over at Spirit Rhino. How cool is that? Let's go the other way. I've always wondered about this, and I'll ask our guest. This is the big wow for me. Look at this. This is Shaq and his old wife. I don't know who this guy is. I think he's an NBA guy. But how does that work? Because when you're with a woman, if you get into positions, you get on top, it's got to be a puzzle. How does that work? I mean, I can use my imagination and piss everyone off, and I'm getting comments already from people. But still, I love the fact, hey, if you're short or 5'9.5", show your swag. You know what? It's fishy when people make fun of you. Because I'll tell you what, me as a guy, all right, when I'm laying down, I'm the tallest guy in the room.
You know what they say? They're all the same height when you lay down. That's for sure. All right. Well, I agree with you. If you think back to all the great movie stars back in the 50s and 60s, a lot of them were short too. And one reason was because of the camera angle. So it was difficult to do if you had to do a one shot with somebody, being that tall and something like that. So a lot of the stuff, like Paul Newman wasn't that tall. So it kind of went with Hollywood more than anything else. It's a little different now that we're doing streaming. So for instance, I'm 2 feet taller than you and look at it. So anyway, so we're saying, hey, we're getting word here that we're a little fuzzy here. So I'm going to check my thing here, Fish. I just want to make sure my.
You're going to check your thing. Like, you know what? Look, all the girls in the other room are having a heart attack. John's checking his thing. Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to check the Wi-Fi here. Hopefully that's a little better. I didn't know if something was in the way. All right. Still ahead, our Schmuck of the Week, who is not so Olympian, and along with Who's Got Swag, rides the big one. Not what you're thinking. Okay. All right. Time now for the Daily Fish Hardlines. Joining us is John Hardison from the podcast Cost of Winning, focusing on fantasy sports and sports betting. Hardline. There he is. Welcome back. We're going to jump in. I know we're having some problems here with technical, because there's a lot of storm going on out in Vegas there, and for some reason my stuff is usually pretty good here. So, John, can you hear us?
I can. John, you all right?
Oh, John's kind of
funky too. Yeah. Well, let John, can you hear us and all? If not, we'll go by the script and we'll say you can hear us. Good. All right. All right, buddy. Let's go first. The Raiders are at Cleveland on with a 3-point favorite. Who do you like Saturday? He's done. The Raiders took him right out. I'll tell you once. He likes the Raiders +3, John. So let's just go through the script and figure out who he wants. But he's got the Titans are 1.5 favorites at the Steelers. What do you think? What does he like?
All right. So he is actually going with the Titans under 41.5. Okay, he's back. Let's see if you can hear us. Can you hear us there, Hardline?
I can hear you guys. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
We got you. So we're at the tight. We're going to go to the 49ers are 9.5 point favorites at home to the Falcons. What do you think?
I like the 49ers. The Falcons are struggling mightily. It looks like we finally got Garoppolo and Kittle back together. So it finally seems like they're getting that chemistry back together. Debo Samuels is looking like a stud right now. I'm going 49ers on the money line.
Okay. Washington goes to the Eagles. The Eagles are a 5-point favorite. Who are you picking on that one?
I got Washington as +5. They got a strong defense right now, a top 5 rush defense right now. They're still struggling a little bit with the pass, but that's where the Eagles make their bread and butter, is just on the ground this season in the games that they have won. I just don't see the Eagles, even in the divisional rivalry, being able to cover on this one.
Well, it's bowl season right now, but there's really a toilet bowl in the NFL. The Jags in Houston this week. I mean, come on. This is for the first draft pick. The Texans and Jags. I mean, come on. The Jags are 3-point favorites. Give me your best.
I'm taking the Texans. I actually like what David Mills did last week in Seattle. He actually pushed them quite a bit for the first 3 quarters. And honestly, I don't think it really matters for the Jags if they play hard or not, because they're getting a new head coach at the beginning of next year. So,
do you worry if you're betting on those games that teams like this might be tanking so that they can get the first pick? You have to think about that as a bettor.
You're not going to overtake my Detroit Lions. So at this point, you're pretty much in lockstep for 2 or below. So it's no reason to just go and take unless you're playing Detroit.
All right, cool. All right, we got some bowl games coming up too. How about Eastern Michigan and Liberty in the Lending Tree Bowl? That's in Mobile, Alabama. Eastern Michigan, 9.5-point favorite. What's your call on this one?
I actually like Eastern in this game. Eastern is actually the superior team, as crazy as that sounds. Big fact, and Fish probably knows this, Max Crosby is an EMU Eagle alumni. So they've produced some pretty good guys coming out of it. They've got a top their quarterback's actually top 12 in completion. And I like what he offers. I'm going EMU plus to win it all.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. We're going to have a bowl game in the Bahamas. I love that. Toledo and Middle Tennessee State. Just show me the cheerleaders and the surf. I don't give a crap about the game, but give us your pick.
In this game, I actually like Toledo, and I like the over. I just think Toledo's the better team. They're putting up points. They're averaging 435 yards per game and have a top 15 rusher. A Kovac. Middle Tennessee State, they just don't have a lot going on. They didn't play a very strong schedule compared to Toledo. I think Toledo gets in. I think they get it on the over.
So do you factor in where these players are playing? Like, for instance, if they're in Mobile, they're not going to have too much. They're going to concentrate on the game. But if they're in the Bahamas, some of these guys, they're going to be enjoying themselves. Do you think about that, or is that something or do you just go strictly with the numbers?
The only person I might worry about is the coach having too many Mai Tais, but I just look at the numbers and I just go off of the players. And for some of these players, this is their chance to possibly make the Senior Bowl or to try and, have a little last minute push for stats to be able to get drafted. So for those kids that are on the edge, this is their last performance. But for the coaches, that's the only one. Some people just have wicked hangovers when they hit the Bahamas. But, as long as it doesn't rain, it's a vacation for them. That's why everybody wants to play Hawaii every year.
There you go. All right. And that is the Daily Fish Hardline with John Hardison of the Cost of Winning podcast. Now, you can find him here with us each week, but the Cost of Winning podcast, you can also see it on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts as well. All right, Hardline, thanks a lot. We'll see you next week.
See you guys next week.
Thanks for putting up with us, too. And, folks, thanks for tuning in. Daily Fish is live on Facebook Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We air on DB&A television on Roku, Amazon Fire, and soon Apple TV, plus the Myrtle Beach Golf Channel. We stream 24/7 on the DB&A television website. Follow us and like us on Facebook at daily.fish.fire. 5, and also subscribe on YouTube. And also, thanks for putting up with some of the technical difficulties. Fish, you actually seem a little bit better, and Hardline seemed better right at the end there.
So do you. You look great. We both came in. I'm getting comments. Bruce Frank just came and said, John's pixelating, you're not, this and that. So whatever's going on, we kind of fixed it.
Okay, super. All right. Hey, Fish, time now for our Schmuck of the Week. Who has been Schmucky this week?
Well, I think this might be return performance. This might be a second Schmuck for this person.
She's in the Schmuck Hall of Fame.
The Schmuck Hall of Fame. That's Caitlyn. Oh, Jesus. That's Caitlyn Jenner. And you know what? She made a big stink. According to TMZ.com, she got denied service at the Beverly Hills Hotel because of her ripped jeans. And she just ripped the hotel a new one over the diss. She went on the attack Monday writing, quote, F-bomb, your horrible service for not letting me lunch with a tiny rip in my jeans. Shame on you, disgusting. I have been a patron for decades, no longer. Well, this is what we're in Olympics. This is what Caitlyn used to be. This is when we're talking about the Olympics, right? So she goes from that to Caitlyn, and I think the reason why there's ripping the jeans, when you got to put up with this in your life, the drama. Come on, are you kidding me? I mean, that's nuts. That's a nut. Look at the look on. Where's Caitlyn? Oh, okay. I don't know who these kids are. I know I see Courtney and I see Kim and hey. All right, let's get out of this.
See, but the thing is I rip my jeans so I'll look trendy. So I kind of, I kind of agree with her. I mean, that's, but at the same time too, whatever the dress code is. All right. Now, Fish, let's see who's got the swag. Who we toasting?
Okay, we're going to toast this guy. I am a big fan of this. I'm going to show you first. We're going to picture this guy. All right. And then I'm going to show you. Look at this. This is Pedro Scooby. See that? Okay. He's one of the big wave surfers in the world. And you know what kind of surfer I am, John? This is Nazaré, Portugal, which is, believe it or not, a small part of Portugal, which has the biggest waves on the planet. All right. He dropped in this wave during the Tudor Nazaré toe surfing challenge. I'm going to check out the footage in a second. I'm going to tell you this. This is famous for the biggest waves and it's a subject of an HBO limited series called The 100-Foot Wave with Hall of Fame legend Garrett McNamara. I think I talked about it in binge watching one time. These guys are longboarding mini tidal waves, dealing with death and Poseidon. Check out this footage if we can show it.
Here it goes.
Of this guy doing this wave.
Right in the pocket. There's the spit. And he comes out. Incredible tube ride from Scooby, and I think we might have.
That's amazing.
You know what? It's going to sound horrible, but I get an erection when I see that, being a kid that's surfing. I mean, to do that, I actually have customers at my bar that say that surfing is not a sport. And golf, I know you love golf. They say golf is more than a sport than surfing. Okay? That's blasphemy. If they weren't gambling so much, I'd throw them out.
Yeah. I agree. I know we're both big surf fans, but I should tell folks if you're heading to Hawaii soon, especially December and January, that's a great time to go. Especially if you're on Oahu, the North Shore, some of the best waves ever. So you definitely want to go take a look at that. All right, Fish. It looks like are we staggering again here? Can you? You see
are. Everyone says that you're staggering. I'm good. I got to. Richard, can you bounce in our private chat and see who's staggering here, who's stammering? I look good to me. You look like you're buffering. I look bad to you.
I'm seeing you fine. I'm seeing me fine. I'm not. You're buffering for me. Okay. I'm going to try. Let's do our drink of the week now. We're going to toast Pedro with our drink of the week. What are we sipping on here?
This is Sex on the Beach. Why not? Sex on the Beach. We got vodka, peach schnapps, right? Cranberry juice, orange juice, a little bit of triple sec on top. So I know the weather's horrible here. And we got major storms and lightning going on, but why not? We could always toast to the summer.
Well, I tell you what, let's bring in our special guest to join us in the toast. He has one of the great film resumes, TV and stage. You currently know him for his role on Curb Your Enthusiasm. He came on a little bit early with us too. And in the past, you've seen him in Spin City, Mad About You. Way too much to go over because we'd be here all day doing Richard's background here. Richard Kine, welcome again to Daily Fish, my friend. Great to have you.
It's good to see you. And Fish, you're coming in loud and clear. And why would Vegas say, here's to the summer? Isn't Vegas dreadful in the summer?
Nah.
Yeah, but you know what, Richard? We're always dreaming about the beach when we're here. That's why you have these
You can
fake
dream
beaches
about the
in
beach
Mandalay
in
Bay.
Vegas for 365 days.
Yeah.
It might happen after the weather they had in LA, in the next couple of days. Nevertheless, you're in Vegas. And it is terrible that you keep me on the sidelines when you're just talking about opinions. I have opinions too.
We're going to let you have a lot of them, but
No, you
now
won't. You're going to have me talk about me.
Well, wait
I
a
don't wanna
minute,
talk about me.
oh, that's not
However,
true.
just
Richard.
in case, I do have a movie out, and I just got through with, because when you started talking about like swag, first of all, that wave, that is unbelievable. And anybody who thinks that surfing is not a sport is also probably not vaccinated. But I'm just saying. They're an idiot. They're idiots. However, Caitlyn Jenner is shockingly, I mean, yes, she is an idiot right now for saying all of that, but she's been an idiot for a long while, running for governor the way that she did and saying what she has. And I've met her. I've met her over at Sherwood. Lovely, lovely, lovely as can be, but an idiot's an idiot. I guess. Look, let me just say, when you lose your penis, who knows what else you lose?
Well, don't you think, Richard? Don't you think this? We should have brought you in for this segment. When you have all these people criticizing short quarterbacks, you see all these celebrities. You might know a few of the people we had on there. They got these tall, beautiful women. They haven't lost their penis. What?
Short people often are overachievers because they do not accept what is considered to be a malady. Okay, of course it's not. However, a shortstop that's 6'5" is going to have arms that can reach third base and second base. A tall quarterback can see over the heads of those people. However, maybe he worked and worked and worked, and maybe maybe he can see, so he doesn't have to throw the long ones. Maybe he can throw the darts because he's low. So maybe that's why he's throwing the bullets. Doug Flutie is great. And somebody like Tom Cruise, who is shockingly short, is an overachiever. I mean, he's got his hands in everything when a movie's, and he was blessed with talent and looks. A big head. Alan Ladd, had a huge head, but a small body. They put Sophia Loren in a trench. Not just Alan Ladd, who nobody here knows who I'm talking about, but Alan Ladd was Shane. But he was about 5'7". Sophia Loren was tall. They had to put her in a trench while they were filming a movie. I can't remember the name of the movie. They're overachievers sometimes. And look, you ever see a real little person? The way they'll go after women? Oh my God, they're shameless. Truly shameless. And as a friend of mine once said, you try and kiss 10 women, 9 times you get slapped, but oh my God, that 10th time. So there you go. So
I bartended, Richard. I bartended in a joint in LA one time, and there was a little person. We used to call them midgets. Yeah. We can't call them that anymore.
Can't do it anymore.
This guy pulled so many women out of this bar. It was incredible. So
how?
You know what?
And is he well endowed or just well endowed for his size? I don't know. Is it a regular appendage?
He said he did, but what he always told me was, he said, Fish, if you have a tongue that could touch your nose, you'll please any woman.
Yeah, but the shame is, I don't have a big tongue. I have a low-hanging nose. So, what are you going to do?
Where are we going there?
Now, where are you a bartender in Vegas?
I'm in a place called Schmuck's Tavern. I've been at this place in this company for about 16 years, and it's one thing about the bars in Las Vegas, Richard, is we have gaming machines around the bar. So
Sure.
you get the dual revenue. You get the people gambling and
You
drinking.
think you're talking to a novice?
I-
You out of your mind? Of course I know. They have them in hotel rooms, but
Yes.
so of course that they do. Do you? But do you have gaming tables, or do you just have the slots around the bars?
Slots around the bar. 15 machines around the bar.
Yeah,
and
okay.
It's incredible. The revenue there, of course, with the restaurant and the drinks. It's the reason why it's like in Manhattan. There's a bar in every corner.
And
in
are there
Boston.
always women coming in there hoping to meet a guy?
Well, you get a lot of industry people in there. You get strippers, you get people who work at casinos, and it's gambling's a culture. It's not so
Well,
much.
it's a real neighborhood
club.
bar. It's a neighborhood bar.
Yeah, gambling's a culture.
I,
So.
I love that. I love that. In fact, if I went to a club, I usually liked going on the the workers' night, which was usually like Tuesday night or
Right.
something like that. Or those are the most fun. Those guys are just letting loose. That's the most fun.
Before John jumps in here, and I looked, I go,
He's
John,
already been talking enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, look at what he just
Just
looks
keep
good.
quiet, John, and let us talk.
I told you, he's the only guy I know that has two wardrobe and a makeup person for a podcast. I mean,
No,
Yeah.
he doesn't.
yes, he does. Yeah, he's a look. I'm one of you. I'm one of the tribesmen. He's a schmuck. Okay, he's a good-looking schmuck, and his tongue doesn't go to his nose either.
And he's kept his looks. That's what's important.
He's gorgeous.
Yes.
All right, I want to talk to you about something you did that I said, wow, you can get this guy on his show. I think it was the most wonderful thing I binge watched. Tell me about your time on a show that you did in 2014 through 2017.
Red
Steven
Oaks?
Soderbergh's Red Oaks. I love that, Richard, between the kid that played your son and Oliver Cooper that played Wheeler, everyone, Gina Gershon, Paul Reiser. I was so pissed off there wasn't a season 4. Tell me about your experience on that show.
All right, I'll tell you something. First of all, probably 90% of the people who watch that show, or who people do not know about that show. That's one thing. Secondly, I'm going to have to say, all of a sudden my computer says low battery, so I'm going to have to get my kids to get me the. Oh my God! I got a low battery. Oh my
You're
God!
fine.
It's because
You're
I kept
fine.
listening. Give me 2 seconds. But Red Oaks was a great show on Amazon, and Amazon can sell socks and underwear, but they can't sell TV, and that's
Wow.
what you're saying. That's
Right.
it was a great TV show. Hold on, I got to get the.
Well, let me tell the audience while you're doing your thing on your computer. I'll tell the audience what the show was. It's a synopsis. It's basically a takeoff of the great 1983 movie The Flamingo Kid with Matt Dillon, and it's about a country club in New Jersey. All right, and Richard Kind's son is a young tennis pro, and he kind of befriends the club's owner, who's a real kind of like a schmoozer type. Paul Reiser owns the club, and it's this kid growing up to the club. Richard's character is married to Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing, and they're going through divorce. And the good thing about Richard, it's a comedic role. He's a comedian that plays comedic roles, but it's a dramatic role. All right, and he goes to trying to raise a kid. He's having a tough time in his business. He loses his business. He wants to open up a deli, and it's a tremendous show that he did. And it catches you because the kid that played Wheeler is the comic relief. He's a kid you see at a country club that's a fat kid that tries to pick up on every girl. He's the guy that Richard said that you try and kiss 10 women, 9 are going to slap you. He goes after the lifeguard, who's this beautiful girl. And the way he wins her over is with his humor, just like I did with my wife. She didn't look at me for my looks. Okay. So Red Oaks was a great show that he did.
All right.
I gave the whole synopsis of Red Oaks, and I said that you're a comedic actor to play this dramatic role, and you're going through
I
divorce.
play lots of dramatic roles. You guys only know me from this, but in this movie, Guns and Run, I play a mobster. You guys only watch TV, because you're sitting there with your little remote control. But believe me, I do lots of stage. I do independent movies. Every once in a while, I'm lucky enough to do a TV show. There was a great show. If you're a gambler, did you ever see the show called Luck?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't say one funny thing in that show.
Yeah.
I was very lucky to do that.
You're everywhere. You know,
I got to admit, I've been on everything.
Dennis Miller once said. Dennis Miller, the great comedian, said, every time I go to see a movie, Michael Caine's in it. Every time I turn the TV set on, Richard Kine's on, and you're great.
Lately, I've been in everything.
Yeah,
I'm very lucky. I mean, I got, and the thing is, right now, it's like, you ever see the show Big Mouth?
No, I have not. Is that about me?
Fish? Do you get Netflix?
Yes, of course.
Oh, Fish. This was made for you. It's filthy. It's filthy. It's a cartoon, and it's filthy. It's all about pubescent kids, and a lot of the characters are the hormone monsters. It's Fish. I'm telling you, it's as filthy. You will text me and say, thank you, Richard, for connecting me with Big Mouth. Okay? Believe me, I can see by this podcast, 60% of your clientele all watch Big Mouth. They've all seen Big Mouth. They probably are not classy, so they haven't seen Red Oaks. But Red Oaks really is a lovely show. And for our times, it's sweet. It's lovely. It's a very, very good show. The Kid, by the way, a kid who's this guy, what's his name? Who was
Craig Roberts.
Craig Roberts is from Wales, and he's not Jewish. He's not Jewish. There we go. I'm going to put it there. Craig Roberts is not Jewish. They had to go to Wales to find a Long Island Jew. It's unbelievable. Or a Jersey Jew. I can't. It really takes place in Jersey, but it takes place at an East Coast country club, and it's very good. It's about a kid who's in college and he's an assistant tennis pro during the summer at a country club. It's a lovely, lovely show. People watch it. I'm telling you, it's a terrific show. I've never met anybody who didn't like it, and 95% of the people love it, like you loved it.
I did, and
it's not going to change the world. It doesn't change the face of TV, but it is a wonderful, smart, intelligent show. It's really good, very humane. Yeah.
You played Rudy. Here, you talk about you played Rudy Giuliani in Bombshell. What kind of prep did you do for that? What prep did you meet?
All right, I'll tell you. Hold on, I'm going to close the door because my kids are out there watching a movie, and they don't. That's why they kicked me out from where the charging station. So,
John, can you hear any of this?
It's kind of going in and out, and I'm going to turn off my phone here. Maybe my phone's causing the interference.
John, we don't need you. Richard and I are fine. You got.
John, I played enough golf with you. I know all about you. By the way,
the two tribesmen. Maybe we're sitting at Cantor's Deli and we're having a conversation. John, we don't need you.
Rudy Giuliani, I met with the director over Zoom. He offered me the part, and I started talking, and I don't know whether you remember the actor Rod Steiger.
Sure I do. The Illustrated Man. Oh,
you did the Illustrated, or In the Heat of the Night, or The Pawnbroker, or On the Waterfront. But Rod Steiger, he spoke very clipped. He spoke very much like this. So does Giuliani. Giuliani speaks very much like this, but then he had the teeth. So he talks like this. He talked very like this. Okay. So I did that. And I didn't try and make it funny like Kate McKinnon, who does a great Giuliani, and there's other people. John Lithgow does a phenomenal Giuliani and was in the movie with me. But I said, I will not do a caricature. So I didn't change my voice. I just affected the way that I talked. And that's all I did. And I will say that the prosthetic teeth helped in the matter of helping me be clipped or having to be clipped with the thing. But the woman who did the makeup or who designed the makeup and her team won the Academy Award. I will tell you that I am not a very good Giuliani. Wow. But it's appreciated in the movie because his name comes up and because I look a little bit like him. But I'm just doing, I wish I could say I was doing a Giuliani like a Giuliani. I wasn't. I was just being an actor in the scene who was a lawyer who happened to be Giuliani. My want was to try and listen to who's he? What's the owner of the of Fox News. What's his name? I can't remember these things.
Rupert Murdoch.
No, not Murdoch. The Roger Ailes.
Roger Ailes.
So I'm listening to Roger Ailes. I'm just going, and I'm trying to be a man listening to him who happens to be Rudy Giuliani. That's what I did. But it's a terrific, terrific movie. Terrific, wonderful movie.
So before I want to ask about Kirk. Before this, you have influences. You have George Clooney's the best man at your wedding. And let me tell you something. I look at actors and I think, who's the coolest guy you want to hang out with? And I would say, to me, it's George Clooney. I'll tell you why. All right, real quick. The NFL Network, Richard, decides to take Ed Reed, a Hall of Famer, and put him on the red carpet for the Academy Awards with the mic. And he's trying to shag down every A-list person walking that red carpet. I won't mention names to piss people off and embarrass them. No one would come up to him. But George Clooney makes a beeline toward him. And he recognizes him and goes, I can't stand you, you son of a bitch. What did I do? He goes, you played for the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan, and you beat the crap out of us every time. And he took the time to talk to this guy, and it was so great. And he just and I found he's the best man at your wedding.
All right. Hold on. Stop right there. I don't like to talk about George because, first of all, he gets enough press. Secondly, let's talk about me.
Okay.
And the third thing is, why would I? The only reason that you're talking about my friend is because he's famous. However, I will acknowledge that I am lucky to be his friend because he happens to be a great person with a great moral stance, a great sense of ethics. And I try to think that our morality and our ethics intersect, and that's why we're friends, because I knew him back before he was a star. So to talk about him as a star and to heighten him the way that you are, I will only heighten him as he is a great guy, and I will end it there. And you should feel the way that you do about him because he's that great a guy.
That's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah,
I think we got John back right now, but John, I'll ask one more question. You could jump in on this thing.
Yeah, John, you're much clearer. What did you do?
I have no idea. I turned my phone off, and that might have been it. Maybe that was it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, go for it.
34 weeks, 34 programs. You finally found out.
I'm a quick learner.
Actors and announcers, is that unbelievable? Puts his face. All he can do is be handsome. That's all he can do.
God, he is.
Yeah,
he is.
an empty head, just handsome. John, are you still with your beautiful wife?
Absolutely. Absolutely. She said to say hello.
I'm glad. I adore her. And it's been ages since I've seen her. Ages. She's as lovely as lovely can be.
It's been a while. We were fortunate enough. We played in a lot of celebrity golf events together, and
that's where we knew each other.
Do you still play golf?
I do, much worse, and I was none too good back then. So, but moving to New York and having 3 children will really decrease your handicap. I mean, I'm a miserable golfer right now. I'm miserable. And while I play, which is I try to be as often as can, I am not just playing miserable. I feel miserable because I know what I used to do, and it has nothing to do with you're getting old, you can't hit the ball far. I'm a lost lamb. You have to play with frequency. But in September or so, my children will be out of the house. By the way, my son just got into Tufts about 45 minutes ago.
Nice.
Wow. Congrats.
Senior in high school. He's senior in high school, so we'll be going to Tufts. So they'll be gone. They'll all be out of the house, and I will be splitting time between LA and New York. I'll be able to play a lot more golf with frequency, perhaps 3, 4, 5 times a week. If I don't get better, then you'll see a dead Richard Kind because I will shoot myself. But I'll be able to work.
Here's the thing. Richard, I'm going to contradict what you're saying because you actually had a hole-in-one, and from the way it was told to me, it was a 9-iron from 150 yards, hit high and soft on the green. It hit the green and it spun back into the hole.
Are you talking to me about the one that Johnny saw? That John O'Hurley saw? Okay. You don't remember? Well, I did it, and so I remember. It was a 4-iron from 186 yards. It was on a string. It was on the 8th hole at Ojai. Now, here's the crazy thing. First of all, John, are you in Florida?
I'm in North Carolina.
Where in North Carolina?
I'm right above Myrtle Beach and south of Wilmington.
Oh, my ex, I just bought her a farm outside of Asheville.
Oh, up
It's
in the
called
mountains.
Columbus. Yep. And my dad had retired to a place called Hendersonville.
Yep.
And outside of Asheville. So I love North Carolina. But I was just in Naples, Florida, with my dear, dear friend Paul Lauer. I wish he were listening. From 196 yards, he got his first hole-in-one. And
Wow.
he thought he was going to die without a hole-in-one. I was there. I have it on my phone.
Do you really?
Reaction. We saw it bounce, and then he saw it disappear. My eyes are so bad. He goes, I think it's in the hole. And literally he's crossing himself as he walks up.
And he's Jewish, you know? Yeah.
He is not Jewish at all. He's not Jewish. Trust me. In fact, he's proudly anti-Semitic. But anyway, he walked up and the ball was in the hole.
So you actually got the video?
I didn't video the hole-in-one. I videoed him on the tee. When he finished, he said, I think it is. And then he walked up and he said, you got to tape this. And then I saw his reaction. I taped his reaction. Oh, motherfucker. Yay. But the thing is, what's so stupid is how many people do you know that walk up and go, come on, a hole-in-one. Watch this, a hole-in-one. You know, he says it. I don't know. He's played golf for 10 years. He said it once around at least. And he literally has the nerve to go, I called it. You idiot. Yeah. And anybody who says, I'm going to get a hole-in-one, come on, a hole-in-one, you know they're not a good golfer because the chances of getting a hole-in-one are the stupidest thing in the world. It's like buying a lottery ticket and saying, I'm going to win. You're not going to win. You know you're not going to win. A hole-in-one is like a lottery ticket. By the way, if you want my opinion, and you can tell every one of your people, your listeners, buying a lottery ticket is without a doubt the stupidest thing a person can do. And I will tell you why. Because you're not going to win. However, if you do win, that's worse than not winning because you see families fall apart. You get people coming after you for money. You have no idea how to handle that money. You're not made to live your life as a person with that much wealth. Your life is destroyed. Your family is destroyed. And in essence, you are destroyed because you think money makes you great. Well, it doesn't. Hard work, living a good life, that makes you great. So winning the lottery is the worst thing in the world. And it's like a child actor. How many child actors do you know ended up successful with a happy life? They don't. They're infamously. You can count on two fingers. Jodie Foster and Ron Howard. Two child actors made it okay. So why would you ever have your child become an actor? That is the worst thing in the world. Why would you ever buy a lottery ticket? Okay, my work is done. I got to go. I told you I got a
third actor for you. Kieran Culkin on the show Succession right now is a good child actor of the Culkin kids, Rory and the kid that was in.
He was a child actor who escaped. Right. His brother had all of the fame. My guess, look, maybe his father was great, pushed him aside, whatever. He became a famous actor. My guess is in his teens, I think. And yes, he played various little roles, but I'm talking about the child. And they were already there. They were already on set. But the Culkins, I've met Kieran Culkin. I've seen him on stage, and he's great. And he's now great in Succession. His brother, unfortunately, is a bit of a disaster from what I hear, although he's a golfer, and I'd like to play with him. I've been invited to play with him. So maybe I'm wrong, but he's not leading a successful acting life. His brother is.
Go, John. I talked enough.
So Richard, I was going to ask you, you're a Yankee fan, right?
I am. You know what? I the reason why I became a Yankee fan, you know who Mitch Modell is?
Who?
You know Mitch Modell? Do you know Modell Sports?
I remember the name. Yes.
Modell Sports was a huge, huge athletic store. And I became friends with Mitch quite a few years ago. And he used to invite me to the Yankees games. And I would sit literally just by home plate where the batter's box was. I'd be on TV more than most ball players because I'm sitting right there. And I
Like
got
Rudy.
to know these people, and I got to know the families of a lot of the players who sat right around us. And that gives you an affinity for it. But I'm fickle when it comes to ball players, to baseball players. I'm not fickle when it comes to football, but I was fickle because I loved the Phillies when I was a kid. I then went to Northwestern, and then I was a Chicago Cubs fan because I knew a lot of Chicago Cubs while I was in Second City. Then I went to New York, and I was actually on Spin City, and Tim Wakefield guested. And he used to invite me to this golf tournament. Well, I loved all those guys. Johnny Damon. Then when Johnny Damon becomes a Yankee, what the fuck am I supposed to do? But I still loved Boston. I loved them for a while. Then I had an affiliation. And Johnny Damon I used to play golf with in New York. And I saw him at parties and stuff. And I became friends with him. So I as opposed to going with the legacy of a team, I go with the players who I gravitate towards. And since they do change every 9 to 12 years, I don't feel bad about that. Does that make sense?
Makes a ton of sense, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, if they can change teams, I can change teams. You know what I mean? If they could say, hey, I'm not getting paid enough, I want to go over there, even though I love the team, I'm going over there. That's sort of how I am.
I like the way you think.
Yeah, it's how I justify it. And now I'm a Yankees fan. However, Mitch sold the stores, doesn't have those seats anymore. So fuck Mitch and fuck the Yankees.
Right.
No, Mitch is still a very dear friend. And I love the Yankees. I do love the Yankees. Yeah.
How much fun do you have, Richard, working on Curb Your Enthusiasm? Is that one of the most fun gigs you've ever done?
I got to tell you, it is. First of all, I giggle a lot when I'm acting. So if something strikes me funny, you can get away with laughing. Larry really giggles. If he finds the actor that he's working with, my God, he'll flat out just roar with laughter. The two of us were doing that scene. If you remember the Crispy Onions episode where we're playing golf. Yeah, okay. And he kills the black swan. When we are interrogated by the owner of the club, the Asian man, and all I'm thinking is Sasui Hayakawa from Bridge Over the River Kwai. And I'm hearing dun, 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 dun in my head as he's interrogating and looking up. Larry was dying, as was I. After about 20 minutes, Larry stopped laughing. I didn't. Larry was like going, all right, enough already. You know, like that. And I'm still giggling. I was still making me laugh. I laugh at at what you have to say sometimes. And it's fun because I compare it like this. You get a short story, like an O. Henry story, and it's divided into various scenes or chapters. And you say, go act this. No lines. This is what's happening. And you make up the words. And it's a lot of fun if you're good at it, which I am. I'm not great. I am good on Curb, but like sketch comedy, which I did at Second City, there are people who are so infinitely better than I am. But I was considered great. I'm not. But on Curb, I could be because you got to do the scene over and over. And if you hit a good line, you would say, or this the scene went well, you just go to Larry, is that what you want? Is that what you're looking for? Because he's telling the story, and you hope that not only do you serve the story, but you're funny at the same time. And if you are really hilarious, well, that's a home run, and he loves you. I think this past season with the middle killed me, and I think the middle may become a term that we use in the same way we now use double dip. You know, I don't know. Can you middle the table? So I got lucky. I get lucky every once in a while. I'm a blessed man. I with these looks, I don't get hired by stupid people. I get people who are usually smart, and therefore they're writing smarter stuff. You know, I don't get hired by, you know, the people did 90210 or you know, Melrose Place or whatever. You know, they're that's for the pretty people. I get lucky.
Well, we consider you a pretty person, Richard. So
I
we're just about out of time, and
I have more to say. I have a lot more to. I'm kidding. Okay.
Well, we're just gonna have to bring you back then because we're just about out of time.
I love seeing you fish. It's a pleasure to meet you. Maybe I'll look for you when I haven't been to Vegas. In fact, they just had the Jeter after Thanksgiving, and it's a tournament I've played in before, but I had to work. So
real quick, do you like seafood? You got to come to my restaurant. You like seafood?
I adore seafood. I like liquor. I like seafood. I like legs.
The best gumbo and crab legs in Las Vegas, Richard.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I would
get you there. I got to get you down here playing golf too. So
I'd love that too. I really would. I'm going to outside Asheville. I'm going to Asheville over Christmas.
You'll love it. You'll love it.
Yep.
All right. Hey, folks, we've been talking to legendary actor Richard Kind. Richard, thank you so much for being with us. We're going to have you back on again, buddy.
I love it. John, great to see you. My love to your bride.
Thank you so much.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
All right. All right. We're going to wrap things up. But first, I just want to apologize for the, the buffering here. We never got a chance to talk about Shucks because they do our drink of the week. Ed Sonic's, great place to go to in Las Vegas. It's makes you feel better. So if you get a chance to go there, Myrtle Beach Golf Trail, if you get a chance, go check out myrtlebeachgolftrail.com. So we apologize. We couldn't get all of our sponsors in tonight. And we've only got about less than 3 minutes left, but
John, you're breaking up. We can hardly hear you. So you might let me take it. Let me take it from here. We got a couple minutes to go. So I'm going to tell everyone, John, if you can hear me, tomorrow next week we're going to do our Christmas show. We're going to call it the Comedies for Christmas. We're going to get 3 alumni back that have been on the show: Tony Visick, Scott Henry, and Brad Grunberg. And we're going to talk Christmas anecdotes, funny things, funny holidays, dinners you've had. And we'll do a whole Christmas show. And that's going to be next week. And then for New Year's, we're going to do all the bartenders that are eligible for the Hall of Fame and talk about that great craft and great stuff happening. We just locked in Ricky Williams, great running back from the Saints and University of Texas. He's going to come on in early February. So a lot of great things happening. We apologize for technical difficulties, but we want to thank Richard Kind, John Hardison. John, I got women in the back telling me in the other room that John looks beautiful frozen. The fact that now you're coming back. Now you're back for the final minute and a half. But we'll fix the technical stuff. I was just telling everybody about next week's show, John, and that we got on the week after. And take us out.
I can hear you fine, by the way. All right. Remember, Daily Fish is live from Vegas and Myrtle Beach. Catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, the DB&A television website as well. You want some stuff you want to tell us about, write to us at dailyfish1@gmail.com. All right, Fish, I know we still got about a minute left, so and anything else to fill in?
This guy had me in stitches.
Wasn't he great?
Oh, talk about a comedic, witty. There's a lot of things I wanted to ask him about, but the time limit. So it's always great to bring someone back. He's definitely coming back for a second.
Yeah.
He's got a million stories. We can ask him about Paul Newman. I don't want to sit there and.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that's interesting is, maybe we should bring him on when we do something fishy or schmuck of the week. He actually might be really kind of good. There's a lot of guests I wouldn't bring on to do that, but maybe we should. We should try that sometime.
Yeah, he's great. Just to talk about what, and I guarantee you, people that are watching this podcast have said, "Oh, I've seen that guy in something," because he's been in everything. Yeah. And yeah, he's right. That episode, The Miller with Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm, a few weeks ago. There's not a person that didn't fall off their couch laughing. So we got 9 seconds to go, John. I love you.
Love you, buddy. Thanks for picking it up.
We're a team, buddy. Look good.
You do.